Diversity to social scientists tends to mean difference. Depending on the context, that could mean a wide variety of things. In the case of what we're going to be discussing tonight, diversity is gender difference and also ethnic and racial difference.
But most of all, I think of people with different background should have the same opportunity to be part of society. When it comes to diversity, we can divide it into gender. Now in Sweden we have an age issue. People beyond 55 have problems to get into the labor market. We have a sexual issue. There's a lot of aspects of diversity.
Workplaces are still fairly segregated in both the United States and in Sweden, and they're also segregated by occupation and occupation level. The United States has been a diverse country in terms of ethnic and racial and linguistic and religious diversity for a much longer period of time than Sweden. So in some ways it has an initial advantage just in time to be more inclusive in the workplace and integrate workers from diverse backgrounds and different types of occupations and at different levels. But data from the United States, from the Department of Equal Opportunity Commission, show that it's the workplace is still, and the labor market is still quite stratified by race and ethnicity. In Sweden, there's different statistics that we use to get an understanding of what the labor market looks like here. But Swedish statistics they look a little bit different. Sweden doesn't measure ethnic and racial difference in the same way that the United States does.
Can you link innovation to diversity somehow?
Well, there are a few recent studies that have been published in the last few years that actually link diversity in top management, so gender diversity and racial diversity in top management positions, actually yields economic benefits for companies. And this effect has been shown to be strongest in companies that emphasize innovation.
So what is the conclusion for a company? Should they go into diversity in order to be innovative?
Well, the research shows that it can be an economic benefit. So if you care about your bottom line, then yes, strategies to incorporate diversity into the workplace would be good. Yeah.
If you look at the U.S. and look at Sweden, what do you think the countries could exchange with each other when it comes to diversity?
Well, Sweden does better than the United States in terms of gender diversity. And although Sweden hasn't reached gender parity, where women are equally represented in all types of occupations, where they're paid the same amount for the same type of work, where they need the same level of education to perform the same jobs as men, women tend to still need more education, additional degrees to be employed in the same types of occupations as men, and they still occupy lower paid occupations to a much greater extent than men in Sweden. So it's not perfect in Sweden, but Sweden is still one of the global leaders in including women in all ranks of the labor market and in the workforce. So the US could learn something from Sweden.
And what can Sweden learn from the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, this is more difficult to talk about because the picture it's not perfect in the United States. I mean, the United States is a very diverse place, but as a sociologist, it would be hard for me to say that Sweden should just do exactly what the United States has done in terms of integrating racial and ethnic minorities into all types of occupations and at all levels. It's been a long process in the US, and the US still has a long way to go. But I guess Sweden could see that it's possible to make progress in that area.
Most people, in the beginning, they have really to deal with their fears of the unknown, the different. So to cope with that, that's an introvert process, which is difficult per se. But when it comes to diversity in an organization, it's quite a complex matter. A lot of people believe that because normally people hire people they like, right? So to have new people coming on board, different people, actually takes a lot of effort to accommodate. I would say the impact is enormous, due to the fact that, the very simple fact that different minds think better. So that's my golden rule. Sometimes it depends on what kind of problem you have to solve. But definitely, different people, different background, that's good for progress.
What advice do you give to organizations and companies that come to you and wants to speak about diversity and business?
Well, most believe that they have a diverse working force, mainly due to that they are probably heavy on exports. But they also have to recognize that can they do better by having a more diversified group of employees. So I always start by, okay, do your own check. Investigate how it really looks like. And often it becomes quite sad. They're same school, same background, etc. So start looking into your own backyard.